Hi, Tony Bradshaw with the website addsometeyouриncome.com here to talk underneath of how to make more money about mastering your craft and how mastering your craft comes when you increase your work and you work really well at it. You have your purpose, you have your goal, you work towards it instead of just having talent. There are many talented people who have sat in front of TV shows and spent their time going to movie theaters and consuming, being consumers, wasting away their talent, while others who aren't as talented have gotten to work. To build on all this and to prepare, I'm going to first share a story, a personal story. I have some quotes to share that I call my hard work beats talent quotes. I will address just kind of a little bit goals. To begin with goals, what are your goals? If you know your goals, you know you're heading somewhere. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 15 years? What are your goals? What are your plans to accomplish your goals? And then does your daily life and the habits that you have in your daily life match with your plans and your goals? The story I was going to tell you. The day was a beautiful day, and the beach was beautiful, and I decided to go swimming. While swimming, I laid down to look at the blue, blue sky. The water was warm. I was just gently being lifted and lowered as the waves went by. And I relaxed for a long time, just letting the world drift along. When I finally came out of my rest and looked, I was a long way from shore. I'd say it was a mile. This surprised me, so I put my head down, started swimming towards shore. I swam and I swam and I swam, and I looked to find I was no closer to shore. Or at least it didn't seem as if I'd been closer to shore. It almost seemed as if I'd gone further from shore. No need to panic, I tell myself. Just swim some more. Put my head down, swim and swim and swim and swim and swim. And after I swam and I swam and I swam and I swam, and I felt like I had swum enough, I put my head up and I looked. And sure enough, it sure felt like I was further from shore and closer. Deciding I must just swim faster, I swim faster, faster, faster. And after I have swum faster, 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 and I know indeed I have gone towards the shore, I look, I may be a little bit closer, but I am still really far. I'm starting to get tired. So I take a rest looking at up at the sky again, and I'm just like, I'm in trouble. I'm not getting closer. I'm really tired. I should be at shore right now, and I'm not. I find myself just needing help. I need some intervention. I need some divine intervention. At which point, and I'll do my best to do a surfer's voice, but I didn't realize it was surfer. I hear someone say, "Hey dude, like Tubular Man, what you doing out here?" And I'm at first thinking like, okay, is God a surfer? Like, and then no, there's the surfer. Hi. And I says, well, I'm just floating along. At this point, trying to be cool about it. He says, "Oh, yeah, dude, man, you're trying to swim back to shore like that way?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, that's the wrong way, dude." And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm really confused because that seems like it's the right way because that's where shore is. Like, everything else is not the shore. He sees the confusion in my face and he says, "You're in a rip, dude." Which I think, rip. R-I-P, rest in peace. Oh my goodness, has this already ended? And he says, yeah, it's taking you out, man. You were in a current. He says, you need to swim along the shore, and then you can go and swim back. Taking his word for it, I swim upshore. After a little while, he says, all right, little dude. Yeah, now you can swim back in. You'll get there. And I start swimming. He kind of hangs close. And at one point, he's like, do you want to rest on my board, dude? And I was too tough for that. And I just kept swimming and swimming. I was exhausted. And yet, when I looked, I could see I was making the shore. He came up to, a fairly close point and knew I was all right and sent me on my way. I made it back to shore. I was just shaking, crawling out of the water. I felt like in those movies where you see people get back to the shore, to the homeland, and they want to kiss the ground. Like, I wanted to kiss the ground. I was so grateful. And I crawl up out of the dirt, and I sit down where it's still wet, and I'm just exhausted. One of my friends comes up, because I was there with a group of friends. I just happened to be on my own. And he's like, hey, yeah, how was your swim? I was like, glad to be back. I sat there watching the ocean and just too exhausted to do anything. I mean, there was friends building sandcastles. There were friends that were just frolicking in the waves. And I was just exhausted. And I was thinking about how dangerous it was that I had ended up in that rip. How I didn't even know I was in the rip. How lucky I was to have a surfer or angel, whatever you want to call it, who was there. And I began to kind of think about it much later, where I looked at it and realized in my life there have been times that I've just drifted along. And when I finally put my head up, I realized I'm not where I want to be. And when I start swimming towards where I want to go, and I'm working, and I know I've worked, but I'm no closer. I put my head down again, and I go, and after I have done all that swimming, I seem to be further away from my goal. It takes having someone who knows the waters better to be there to help make sure you will correctly get yourself where you need to go. And sometimes, interestingly enough, to get to shore, you have to swim along the shoreline. That was the part for me that was just so interesting about this. He's like, you're swimming the wrong way. And I'm thinking, I'm swimming towards my goal. I'm headed that way. And it's the wrong way. And I needed an expert. I needed someone who was going to guide me and help me to know I needed to move up shore or down shore to get out of the rip, to get out of being drug out into the ocean. That current was pulling me, and I wasn't fast enough as a swimmer to make it back to shore. Simply moving away from that location, which seemed to not be towards my goal, I got out of that current, and I was then able to find my ability to swim to the shore. Let me give you a few quotes as I promised. These are my hard work beats talent quotes. I am a great believer in luck, said Thomas Jefferson, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. The harder I work, the more luck I have. Opportunities come to me when I get things done. Not because I have the best talent, but because I'm working and I'm moving forward, I find the luck. At first, I wasn't sure that I had the talent. And maybe you've been there too. But I did know I had an intense fear of failure, and that fear compelled me to fight off anything that might abate it. So Gordon Parks is saying here, there's fear, had that great fear of failure, and so I'm doing everything I can to work to be successful. Failures will still happen. Failure is part of success, but he kept working to be able to make it. What we need are positive, realistic goals and then the willingness to work, hard work, and, of course, practical goals. That was from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A couple more quotes for you. What would life be like if we only did what was necessary? That's from Nicky, a Formula One racing champion, 3-time winning. His name was Andreas Nicolas Lara, and he went by Nicky. If you work harder than somebody else, chances are you'll beat him, though he has more talent than you, said Bart Starr. How true that is. How true it is. May you, with whatever talent you have, improve it and be successful. Master your craft. Mastering your craft means you will be higher paid. And when you are higher paid, you've added to your income. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.